Sent out for one small Lahaina neighborhood on August 8th. KITV4's Jeremy Lee joins us live from Lahaina. And Jeremy, as you've been reporting, that text alert was issued in the afternoon, nearly an hour and 20 minutes after the Lahaina flare-up fire was called in.
That text alert called for the evacuation of Kilauea-Mauka near the bypass, but it's not clear if anybody in Kilauea-Mauka actually got the text alert. But what that does tell us is that somebody at emergency management by 4:15 p.m. knew that Lahaina was in crisis downhill of the bypass. There are some unusual circumstances surrounding this text. So KITV4 has asked, was this evacuation text the only alert to go out that afternoon? And did anybody follow up? 3 square block neighborhood just below the bypass. Kilauea-Mauka Mackay Park lies in between the homes that survived up top and to the south, the origin point of the fire, which traveled this way down Lahaina Luna Road towards the Hale Mahaolu Senior Living Complex, which caught fire early on. Here's a look at that 4:17 p.m. text alert a mother of 3 evacuating near Front Street received. Running an image search, we learn this text was also received by some others at 4:16 p.m. per a New York Times investigation, which doesn't find any other outgoing emergency text for Lahaina that afternoon. Now here's the big twist. State of Hawaii House Representative Ellie Cochran lives in Kilauea-Mauka. She says she's the one who directly called Maui Fire Chief Brad Ventura, who was on vacation in Colorado. She told him houses in her neighborhood were on fire.
And I looked down a block and all the homes were going up in flames. I had called fire chief at that point, because I'm like, yeah, does Kilauea-Mauka need to be evacuated? I asked him, and he said, why? I said, because there's like a really big fire right now. And he said, oh, let me call you back. So then he did, called me right back. And then he said, yes, you need to evacuate. I go, yeah, but it's gridlocked up here. And he's like, oh, I'll send, we'll send police to direct traffic. I'm like, that's too late. And I just hung up and drove out of there because I saw the firemen leaving.
MFD has said fire trucks had to reset at times as the fire was spotting. KITV4 reached out to the fire chief directly and the county over the course of 1 week now. We've had no response. Ellie Cochran says she never received the alert, which is part of the federal WAS wireless alert system managed by MEMA, and she doesn't know anybody in Kilauea-Mauka that did receive it. KITV4 has requested a record of any wireless alerts that went out that afternoon. But most troubling, it seems that to get an evacuation order that afternoon, you had to have working cell service and you had to call somebody high up, like the fire chief, to tell him that your neighborhood was on fire. But that didn't necessarily mean that those in your neighborhood would get that text, and it didn't necessarily mean that anybody would follow up. Reporting live by Lahaina Luna Road near Kilauea-Mauka, Jeremy Lee, KITV4 Island News. Stay with us on Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.